Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Drama Free Gaming, DFG podcast 015. Yeah, we are up to 15, and we're doing well, guys. And hopefully, you guys out there are doing well. You know what the circumstances are like, not only here or wherever your here is at, but around the world. We're hunkering down, doing what we need to do to stay safe, and hopefully you and your family are doing well. What's going on already in the chat? We got some people. Appreciate that you are here, and we're just going to be having a nice chill conversation. I got some gameplay from the Division 2 Warlords of New York City. If you haven't checked that out, you should. Let me get all of the niceties out of the way, the necessities. Catch us on mixer.com/endtime. That's XENDXTIMEX. And also, of course, on YouTube at youtube.com/drama free gaming. This will also be available for you guys in a audio podcast format, and it'll eventually be pushed out to Google Podcast and other servers as well. Primarily, I use anchor.fm and again /drama free gaming, but it'll be pushed out to other platforms as well. So if you want to catch the audio, that'd be great. Subscribe there as well, and everywhere that you can, leave some comments. We're going to, like I said, have a nice chill conversation. It's going to be a monologue here, as I was meaning to jump into some topics earlier in the week. I attempted to get a little panel together, but we had audio issues, and really it just wasn't up to snuff to release. So I kind of scratched it and came right back. But I'm curious to know, guys, if you tune in, the first thing I'm going to ask and share with you is what are you playing during your time now in seclusion or in quarantine? Don't know to what extent you might be cooped up in your home, in your apartment. I know that there are some quote unquote essential workers out there. I want to thank everyone who is on the front line. What's going on, YB Bob Z? Hi, hello. I see you in there. You were quick to jump in here as soon as I hit the start streaming, so glad that you are around. Yeah, there is a lot of downtime now for a lot of people. Some people are not working, again, due to this quarantine and safety issues. And I just want you guys to stay safe. And I know that some people are experiencing some tough times, but also want you to be encouraged and be thankful that you're well, and you got people hopefully surrounding you that are encouraging you and supporting you. I've seen a lot of this happening, and I want to focus on that here for a little bit. Today I was out and about with my wife doing some grocery shopping, and everywhere we went, whether that was Walmart, Aldi's, it's a supermarket that we have, or what other place we went to, Sam's Club, there were lines to get in because they were letting only a limited amount of people in the stores. So everybody is trying to the best of their ability to practice this social distancing, and it was rather interesting. We waited, thankfully not too long on some of these lines, but a real good experience that I had was at Sam's Club, and my wife and I both went in, and there was they were rationing, or I should say limiting items to people, especially those items that would sell out quick, just to make sure that people would have an opportunity to get some, and there was this one guy with his spouse, his wife, his partner. He reached over to get like the last like 2 dozen of eggs or whatnot, and I was gonna get that, but he beat me to it. But what surprised me was that he realized that I was gonna go for the same eggs, and he offered me one of them. And I looked at him and I said, no, I'm cool, because my wife had already grabbed one. I was going to grab the other one to see if I could, share with my brother, who was, of course, not with me. But I was just, pleasantly surprised that this guy, he would have been willing to give me, one of the dozen eggs that he had. And I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but I want to kind of like highlight that because, during this time or any time, we can either choose to be nasty and at each other's throat. We can pretty much, turn a blind eye to individuals and their needs, and just be worried about our own needs. And your situation, I don't know, is unique to you, just like mine's is to me. But this guy, just that simple act and that willingness to share, a perfect stranger, pleasantly surprised me. And I said, no, that's cool. You can hold on to that. But to know that, there's people that would still be willing to, express that neighborly love and not just, be paranoid and whatever it is. Don't let the times overwhelm you and cause you to be, inhumane. Rather, you want to take the opportunity to do good and to look out for your neighbor. You never know, again, what situation someone else is going through. But yeah, that was a pleasant surprise, and I'm thankful for that. And I was pleasantly surprised throughout the day as well. People being courteous. You can feel the anxiety, the tension, but even from a distance, people were still giving you smiles or nodding their head, acknowledging you. And these workers who are in these stores, who are stocking our shelves, who are unloading, the trucks and, keeping things under a semblance of normalcy, my hats go off to them. All the doctors, nurses, anyone who is on the front line, who has to be out there. I myself am an essential worker or fall under that category. So I'm still out there, guys. And, things look really different when you're on the streets and you don't see the people and the traffic and the commerce that you're used to seeing on a daily basis. And it can feel rather bleak, but it's all good as long as we keep our heads up and stay positive and be good to one another. It's we're gonna ride this through together. So let me move on to what the next subject can be here. What are we playing? What are we playing during this quarantine? There's been some releases that I am very curious to jump into and that I've never experienced. One of those is Animal Crossing on the Nintendo Switch. And yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good things regarding this game. I've never played an Animal Crossing game, but I'm really curious. The only thing is, I'm worried that I will play and I will get addicted. I will fall into that pattern of, living that life. I have that type of personality. I can get wrapped up and involved in that game loop. That's why, like you see on the screen, some of my Division 2 gameplay back in the days when Division 1 dropped, I was there from like alpha. And I, leveled up, and then the beta came out and leveled up, and then the game came out and did what I did. And I put some serious time into these games because, frankly, they're the type of games that I like to play. The game loop is interesting to me, keeps me coming back for more. And it's just the way that I just go about gaming is really to decompress after a day of work, after a day of just dealing with circumstances and situations and issues. It's just a way that I unwind. And I've been playing games for a long time, from my youth up until now. We're talking about the Atari 2600, ColecoVision. I either directly or indirectly owned or played those games, whether it was on my cousins' machines, consoles. I was able to experience gaming at a young age, and it was just something that stuck. That and tabletop games, which I don't play no more. I don't have the group nor the time, to be honest, to play. But back in the days, it was that D&D, and yeah, we had good times. Good times. It was a way for us to get together and to use our imaginations. That was before these video games became as expressive as they are now, to say the least. Tabletop games, D&D, Marvel games, tabletop again, were all about that imagination and getting around a group and creating those stories and just having a blast. So that's where I come from. And Animal Crossing, yeah, I just picked it up. It's in its box. It's still wrapped up. I picked it up today at Walmart. Curiously, it was $49.94 or something like that. And I was like, wait, this game just came out like last week, I think. And I looked it up on the Nintendo eShop. And yeah, it was $59.99 digital. I even advertised on Walmart, Target, and every other place as being $59.99. But there it was in the shelf at my local Walmart here, and $49. And I said, I gotta try this game. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know what to expect. I don't know if I'm going to play it, fall in love with it, and get caught up. What appeals to me, guys, is just that it's really chill, from what I understand. It's one of those games that's, it doesn't really have an end game. And that appeals to me a whole lot. If I can just jump into this game and just kind of chill, tune out a bit, not necessarily being there on a daily basis to keep up with quest lines and missions and loot and all that other stuff. If I can play it on my own terms, then Animal Crossing and I are gonna get along just fine. So if you've checked it out, if you have played it and you're listening to this podcast, listen, I don't care when you listen to this podcast, whether it's a week from now, a year from now. I was just tuning into Gamertag Radio. It's another great podcast. If you guys have not heard of it, it's been around for, I think 13, 14 years. But I just discovered it. And when I did discover it, was actually listening to another podcast, RDX podcast, Real Deal Xbox Gaming, Dealer Gaming, here on YouTube. Check him out every week, Tuesday, I believe 8 p.m. Eastern. He puts out his podcast. And I think it was there that I heard about Gamertag Radio. I looked it up, And when I tuned into their podcast, they were interviewing Phil Spencer. And I think it was their 1000th episode. And I was like, wow, here I am at episode 15. But you know what, guys, this is a labor of love. I like to have these conversations and like to get on and just share with you guys what my gaming experience is and just what's going on maybe in the industry, what's going on maybe in my life. And usually I'm here with my brother from another mother and the same heavenly father, as I always introduce him, Dark Dad Jay, and he's usually the one doing the gameplay. But you know, pray for that man. I love him dearly, and you know, we're all going through something right now, and you know, we need to look out for one another. So I'm going to leave you with that before I go on a rant and get too far away from Animal Crossing. But if you guys have played the game, tell me what you think. Again, if you discover this podcast a year from now, great. Tell me what you think about the game. Maybe it's something that I might, hear you speak about, and you might remind me and say, hey, Anton, remember when you said this in episode 15? And I might be like to, who knows, God knows, episode 200 or whatever. And I'll be like, wow, I said that. But yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be fun, kind of like a time capsule thing. And yeah, it'd be cool to go back and revisit and maybe give you some of my impressions then as to how either I enjoyed Animal Crossing and if I put the time into it, or if it wasn't one of those games and I kind of just like got it, experienced it, and moved on. So, but I hear that it's amazing. I've been watching reviews on it. It really seems like, and I have a good feeling that it's going to ensnare me. So hopefully, I do hope I don't give enough love to my Switch as I do to my Xbox and now my PS4 Pro. Talking about PS4 Pro, we are getting to the end of The Last of Us Remastered. I've been playing the game on stream for about an hour session each time I play, and I think I'm in the last area. I have remained spoiler free for all these years, so when we get to the end here, guys, my reaction, and I might talk about it on a podcast and talk with Jay about it, because I know he's played it and it has and he's ended it. I might want to talk about it. And again, I have played The Last of Us but never completed it for whatever reason, and got to the same area where I'm at currently right now, the winter season. So I'm excited because I hadn't played that game in a while, and actually while playing it again through the third time now, there was a lot of stuff that I forgot about that game, and it was like a whole totally new experience, and it still holds up, guys. It is still a great game. So if you've played it, great. If you've beat it, even better. If you haven't, maybe now is the time. Although it might be, a little bit touchy for some people, especially during the times that we're living in, may not want to play that type of game. But it's great. The story is great. And I can't wait. I can't wait to end it, to roll the credits, and to actually talk about it here in a future podcast soon. So yeah. So been playing The Last of Us Remastered, got Animal Crossing in the pipeline, and also been listening to, and actually was listening to, again, an episode of Gamertag Radio. And they were talking about Phantasy Star Online. And I said, wait a minute, Phantasy Star Online? I remember Phantasy Star back from the days of the Sega Master System. As a matter of fact, I've said before that it was the first game, that and Outrun, that I got with my Sega Master System. And I remember playing Phantasy Star and just being the happiest kid alive. I got it during Christmas. I remember my mom paying, I think, like $100 for that game. And yeah, I played that game all the way through. I have not finished another RPG since then, to my shame. But Phantasy Star will always hold a place dear and near to my heart. And so when I heard about Phantasy Star Online, to my understanding, it's been out since 2012, I believe. I might be wrong about that. It was being kind of held hostage out in Japan or Asia or somewhere. Anyways, I'm not a big online MMO player. But when I heard it just got released on the Xbox and it's free to play, I said to myself, I got to check this out. So actually last night, because that's when I heard the Gamertag radio podcast, I turned around and downloaded it, and it's waiting. And I'll definitely come back on here after I get a chance to check it out and play for a while and let you guys know what my impressions are. So we got Last of Us almost at the end of it. We have Animal Crossing that we need to crack open here soon, and Phantasy Star Online as well. And again, I just want to try to get as many experiences as I can. Trying out these games, again, it's not going to be something that I'm going to tell myself, okay, now you got to see this game through, because I know that each of those games, except for The Last of Us, are games that you need a time commitment. And, you know, again, to be honest, I play a game for as long as I'm interested. And if the game stops being fun for whatever reason, I just stop. One of those games that I was playing and I just stopped playing because it just stopped being fun for me was Hollow Knight. And, you know, that's not a knock on the game, but Hollow Knight, for me, I just lost interest. And I put some time into the game, but I saw myself kind of like finding excuses not to play, and at the same time finding excuses to continue playing it against my my will and my desire. And so I've kind of had to learn to curtail my expectations of games and really putting this unnecessary obligation to play games. You know, a lot of us have games in our backlogs that we have not touched. We've purchased games, or we're subscribed like to something like Game Pass, and we have all these games at our fingertips and a backlog of games, telling ourselves that we're going to get to it one day, but we never do. And I've kind of like resigned this thought to myself and just say, you know what? I'm going to at least boot up the game, give it a shot. If it, you know, captures my attention and holds my attention for however long, I'm going to play it. And when it's done, when that feeling is done or I'm done with the game, I'll just move on to the next one and not feel guilty, not feel bad that I didn't quote unquote finish or roll the credits on the game. Because if it's like that, guys, we'll never play or experience anything new, let alone anything that we have in our backlog of games. So Hollow Knight was one of those games. I think that for what it is, uh, I enjoyed it up until the point that I wasn't enjoying it. And that's okay, guys. Just move on and play something else, and don't, you know, torment yourself and say, "Hey, I'm not a real gamer because I didn't roll the credits." Your reality, like mine, might be that you don't have that time, and it's not the only thing going on in your life. I have a family, I have work, I have studies, I have responsibilities, and I just can't lock myself in and it be game, game, game. Can't do that. You know, Doing this podcast is also something that I've been wanting to do. And again, I know that, and I've had my friends here podcasting with me, but I understand that as the captain of the ship, I have to set sail. I have to keep things afloat, and I just can't let this go to the wayside because, again, circumstances and life is going to happen. And many times, we can't coordinate schedules, we can't control things. But I want to be here. I want to be here. I want to do this podcast. I want to chat with you. I want to get things off my chest. I want to have this interaction with you guys, and hopefully, you feel the same way. And it's an outlet, especially now, guys. Especially now that we are under these circumstances, and we don't know how long it's gonna be. It's a relief for me to be able to download 2, 3, 4, 5 different podcasts. Sometimes, these guys and gals out there, they're putting it out on a daily basis. Sometimes it's on a weekly basis. It's all good. It helps me out. It keeps me in the right state of mind. And I feel like I need to contribute to that. And I got something to say, and why not? Why not come out here and say it? So, yeah, guy. Animal Crossing, Phantasy Star Online. I can't wait to try these games out, and I definitely will come back and talk to you guys about this. Let me know in the comments, what is it that you're playing right now? Have you moved on to something new? Have you picked up a brand new game? I know that Resident Evil 3 has launched at the time of this podcast recording. What's the other one? Doom Eternal. So there's games out here. Not to mention Nintendo announcing recently some new games of their own, and also the rumors of a 35th anniversary Mario remake port. I don't know if it's going to be 1 game, 2 games, 4 games, some of their classic games over to the Switch. That's going to be great. I look forward to that as well. Again, it's a time for us to enjoy, to look at the things that we do have, the things that we can enjoy, and don't focus on the things that you can't control. Just hang tight. We're going to get through this together. So, but let me know what you're playing. Let me know what you're looking forward to playing. Or maybe you're not playing a new game. Maybe you're playing one of the old school games. Maybe you're back on, an older system. Who knows? I'm looking at my Dreamcast right now, and I got a couple of games there that I enjoy. That Crazy Taxi, Ready to Rumble 2, Ready to Rumble. I think I got that 2K football in there as well. Yeah, it's some good games. And yeah, I got a smile on my face as I think about those games I just mentioned, and I have fond memories of playing with friends, with my neighbors, and just having a good time. So let me know what you guys are playing. So well, I have kind of like another inquiry here in this monologue that I'm having, and I was just thinking to myself, all these announcements that Xbox is putting out regarding the Series X, I'm excited. I am so pleased that Xbox is taking this aggressive approach, doing something new, giving us information, getting Digital Foundry involved and saying, hey, here's the box, take it apart, put it together, speak about the specs, just stepping back and making their box, their console, their tech accessible. And I wish that we can say the same thing for PlayStation. I'm still waiting here to see the box and to know a bit more about it. We got Mike Cerny and the specs in a sort of a GDC conversation or presentation, I should say. And I know that bored a lot of people to death. But I don't want to speak about specs. I don't want to speak about, who got the most teraflops and, who has the fastest SSD. We hear that in these podcasts, and I've covered that in my own way here. But the question I want to ask, and maybe you might have asked yourself the same question, is who is the Xbox Series X for? Or for that matter, who is the PlayStation 5 for? These next-gen consoles. Who are they going to appeal to, and in what way? Because we can speak about specs, we can speak about power, we can speak about teraflops and, SSD speeds and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, who are these boxes for? The consumer who picks up, and there's my dog in the background. I wonder who she's barking at. But the Xbox and the PlayStation are both going to be amazing consoles. And for the average consumer, I dare say even the tech head, unless they're looking with a magnifying glass at their 4K screen and scrutinizing everything under a microscope, when they throw these games on these systems, they're gonna run amazing. They're going to look amazing. Now, I know that there's proprietary software and tech involved in each one, and one might be able to do something better than the other one. But the reality is that when you put on your game, you're looking to have an experience with that game. And just for example, look at what PlayStation did with the base PS4 and the PS4 Pro and, God of War, which is another game I have to get back to, or Horizon Zero Dawn, The Last of Us that I just mentioned, Bloodborne. These games looked amazing. Amazing experiences. Spider-Man. I mean, think about it. People played these games, and I'm just mentioning PlayStation. People played these games because they were just that, amazing experiences. They had fun. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Look at Nintendo, the Nintendo Switch. I own a Switch, and I enjoy Mario Kart. I enjoyed that Mario and Rabbids. Great game. Lots of fun. And it's not running anywhere near the specs of a PS4 or an Xbox One. But the games are amazing. The games are fun. They keep me coming back for more. And so I asked the question again, and maybe it's a question that you need to ask yourself. Is the Xbox Series X, or if you're in the PlayStation camp, is the PlayStation 5 for me? as a gamer, I'm gonna be honest. I'm going to get the Series X because that's the platform that I'm on, and I prefer just because my friends are on there. And it's just the system that I've had since the original, the OG Xbox. I've owned PlayStation 3. I had a PlayStation 1, I believe. And of course, I just mentioned the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro. I've had multiple of those. I enjoy both consoles, but I'm going to get the Series X. And the reason is because I know I'm not going to experience any quote unquote next gen gaming, at least for maybe a year. The Xbox Series X for me is going to be just like I got my LG OLED C9. It's kind of like I'm picking it up now. I'm an early adopter and I'm future proofing myself. And I know that with the Xbox and that ecosystem, all my games are coming over. OG Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One games, my whole library. Game Pass that I'm subscribed to Game Pass Ultimate. All of that is going to be accessible to me on this monster of a console. I have a gaming machine, a gaming PC, but I prefer the console and I'm just going to enjoy it. But it's not because it's more powerful and than the PlayStation 5. I'm just going to get that, and eventually I'll be able, when I'm able to, I'll pick up the PlayStation 5 to play those amazing games that they have, those single player experiences. The Last of Us 2, Spider-Man 2, God of War 2, all these games, hopefully a sequel to Bloodborne or something in that vein. And I'm just going to enjoy myself. I am going to be in there. I'm going to enjoy myself. And that's why. That's the reason. Is the Series X. Can I hold off on the Series X? Yes. Honestly, I have an Xbox One X right now, and I can. Do I want to? No. But can I? Yes, I can. I have no reason to run out day one. But for you guys who are probably asking yourself that question, should I run out day one? Well, you just take some things into consideration. Are you going to be invested in this console the way that I said that I am? Are you in the ecosystem already? And I'm just talking on the Xbox Microsoft side, can I hold off because Xbox allows me to play my games on PC through xCloud, which is something that we haven't spoken about, but it's going to play a big part in I believe next gen console gaming. You don't have to jump and get that. Maybe you're on an Xbox One, and come holiday season, if the system's still released at the time that they said they're gonna release, the end of this year, we'll see. Only time will tell. You might be able to get an Xbox One X. As a matter of fact, just recently, I think I saw on Amazon they're bundling the Xbox One X, and I saw it for like $249, if I'm not mistaken. So that's amazing. That's a great price. It's gonna be really interesting, and not to mention the Lockhart, which is we'll call it the Xbox Series S, which is a lower powered console, which is going to be much better than the Xbox One X, and going to be able to allow you to play your next gen games, but it's probably going to be targeting 1080p, 1440p, which is amazing. So, these systems, at the end of the day, I can tell you just my own opinion, and I've heard many people say this, and I agree with them. The price is going to be something that people are going to look at and say, well, this one is $100 more than this other one. I'm going with the cheaper one. Because if both consoles have similar ability, it's not going to matter if one has 12.1, 12.2 teraflops and the other one has 9.1, with the variable rate there, being able to boost it to 10.2, whatever. None of that's going to matter. It's not going to matter, guys. What's going to matter is the price. And if you're locked into the ecosystem, the games at the end of the day. So I'm hoping that both Xbox, PlayStation, soon will get to the point where they're done with the conversation as to, the specs of the system, the reveal of the systems. Okay, that's good. That's wonderful. Now give me games. And please don't give me, trailers of videos of the game. I want to see some actual gameplay. So that I can say, wow, this is really delivering on this next gen hardware that they're talking about. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I think that's where we're at right now. Pardon me, my allergies are kicking in, and I'm trying really hard not to sneeze here while I'm on podcast. Already had my dog barking in the background. But yeah, guys, that's my take. That's my feel. I want to see games. Every time, I'll give you a perfect example. Every time I see a Nintendo drop a direct out of the blue, they don't announce it. They don't do a lot of fanfare. They just drop it. And you see hundreds of thousands of people tuning in, either live or afterwards. And I might be exaggerating, but tens of thousands of people. Let's say that, okay? Let's tone down that. But they tune in. They watch it. It's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it's game and game and gameplay and gameplay and announcement and gameplay. And that's it. And they're done. And then they walk away. It's like mic drop, And that's great. I want to see Xbox and PlayStation do that. Like, I think we're at that point right now. Other than PlayStation revealing how the hardware is going to look, which I am curious. I want to see what that's all about. And again, I don't want to get into another topic here, but just recently hearing the buzz, I don't know if it's true or not, guys. I'm not going to do some investigative, journalism as to whether or not, the PlayStation supposedly is having issues in its design and it's overheating or whatever. I don't know. I'm not in the industry. I wasn't in the room when they tested it, but I'm sure, as sure as I am, that Mike Cerny is a very bright, much more intelligent man than me when it comes to tech, knows what he's doing. I'm not worried. And I would not worry because they haven't given me a reason to worry. So I'm just letting you know, guys, whatever it is, these systems are going to be amazing. There's always a possibility. We all remember the Xbox 360 and the Ring of Death. Hey, when you're an early adopter, that's another thing. You run the risk of maybe getting, that first batch that is not really, up to snuff. It's happened to me. It happened to me with the Xbox One X. I got the Scorpio edition, and it wasn't functioning right after a couple of weeks. But I had got, the plan that if anything went wrong with it, I can just take it back and swap it back out. And I suggest you do the same thing, not only with your consoles, but with any major electronic purchase. You want to make sure you're covered for a couple of years, that you can just walk in, swap it out, get another one, and you're good to go. And the Xbox One X that I have right now is the one that I've had since for the last couple of years. So it's been treating me right. I've been having a lot of fun. But guys, I think we're going to end it there. Again, just wanted this to be a real chill podcast. We got a lot to look forward to. Again, Animal Crossing, Phantasy Star Online. It's gonna be good, guys. And no matter what your situation is, keep your head up. We're here. I'm going to try to put out some more content. Come hang out with us and watch our Last of Us playthrough. Maybe you played it already, but you don't want to go back and play it again. Come watch my gameplay. Maybe refresh your memory in anticipation for the Last of Us 2, which hopefully, from what I understood, has been delayed indefinitely at the time of this recording. It's a heartbreaker, but it is what it is. But you know what? It'll be that much better when it comes out. In the meantime, let's catch up on these backlog games. Let's be safe. Let's look after one another. And keep your gaming and keep your life drama-free. Thank you for subscribing, for leaving a like, for leaving comments. It really does help a lot. Thank you so much. And until next time, later.